Hello, welcome back to Traveling Teacher Talk.
Hi guys, thanks for joining us.
I've got a great question for you today, Di. At the beginning of term or when a new child starts, they can have separation anxiety quite easily, and it's very, very common. So how do you deal with that?
It's a toughie. It really is a toughie because you're not only dealing with the child, you're dealing with the parents as well, and the whole ripple effect. So what I normally say to parents is that make it a positive. Make the morning consistent. So do the same thing each morning. And if you're anxious, if you as a parent are anxious, don't talk about that in front of the child.
Oh.
Okay, so you can discuss it with your partner or the teacher, but make sure it's not in earshot of the child, because they pick up on that feeling, those vibes, and so they don't know how to react. This is a new environment for the child, so of course they're stepping into a new comfort zone. They're separating. They don't understand. A lot of times children, especially young ones, like 12, 18 months, 2-year-olds, they don't necessarily understand that mummy or daddy or someone is going to come back and pick them up.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a whole gamut of issues that the parents need to fill the gaps in. So my advice to parents has always been, make sure that you set the same structure every morning.
Be consistent.
Be consistent, yeah, and be positive. Like, speak about the children that are there. Speak about the teachers. Speak about what they're going to do.
Be enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, be
happy.
We're
going to school.
Yeah, we are. We're going to school, and mum's got to go to work, or mum's going to do blah, 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 or dad's got to do blah, blah, blah. And
just as an interruption, sorry, but sometimes it's good for the parents to act like that too.
Absolutely.
Because it reinforces a positive and helpful behavior for them too.
That's
rather
right.
than and that's reflected onto the kids.
So as much as I'm talking about it from a parent's perspective, as the educator or the teacher, you can give these tips to the parents to make it easier. I mean, I've done a big talk about this at one stage in Hong Kong, where I've said to the parents, make sure that your morning is consistent. Make sure that you set the child up and let them know exactly what's going to happen. So now we're going to have breakfast, and then we're going to go to school. And then at school, we're going to blah, blah, blah. At school, you're going to da, da, da. And then mum's got to go to work, or dad's got to go to work, and we're going to come back, and we're going to pick you up, and you're going to tell me all about
keep them
your day.
Informed.
Yeah, tell them that after sleep, and then you'll have something to eat, then mum will come back. Or after you've played outside, depending on like whether it's Hong Kong or China, they have different structures.
I guess,
but it's just setting it up.
Yeah. I guess one of the things to also realize in this whole scenario as an umbrella perception is kids do understand. Young children really, really do understand. If there's anything that we've learned, is that their perception of what's going on is full and broad, and they do take on the information that's around them.
True.
So they're very aware. If you're talking to them directly, they do understand you. It's just that their lack of communication or lack of expression at that age leads us to feel that they're not understanding, or they don't know what we're talking about.
I mean, they're moving into a whole new environment.
Yeah.
They're primary caregivers, who might be their grandparents, their parents, their caregivers, their helpers, etc. They are no longer around. So these little ones are by themselves. And they are expected, we expect them as educators, to be able to know, oh, mum's coming back, don't worry, it's okay, mummy's coming back, or daddy's coming back. But the parent needs to reinforce that. The other thing too is, it's really nice if they can bring something from home. I know that there's a lot of centres in the West especially that say, don't bring a teddy bear, don't bring a blanket, don't bring this, don't bring that. But here in Asia, in China specifically, even if you have like a little picture of mum and dad, or now they've got these watches, where mum and dad can leave a message saying, mummy will come back and pick you up after sleep or after such and such.
I mean, we've even seen it help where they've had a picture from home, something familiar, something that still connects them, and you're not completely chopped off.
That's right.
Remember the analogy we used to make about you going to a brand new job?
Yeah.
Think about yourself going to that brand new job. You've never been there before. You might have been in a different room for the interview. Now you're in a completely different environment, different people, and you feel anxious.
Of course. So if you feel anxious as an adult, imagine what a little one would feel like.
Yeah.
And then factor in that you've got this big towering foreigner standing over the top of them, sort of going, "How are you? Are you happy? Are you okay? You know, let's come here again. Rah, 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 get up and dance."
And in a language you often don't understand.
In a language that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And even the fact that these little ones might be settled and then something will trigger them, just like something triggers us.
So you said how you can help the parents, but how do you help the child after the parents leave?
Once the parent leaves, then the child needs to find something of comfort. So somebody who has had that engagement with the parent.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, in China, it will be the Chinese teachers, because they're the ones that have been speaking with the parent.
Yeah.
So let that teacher engage with the child. Let that teacher be part of, like, almost like an extra child.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't encourage that they take the child out of the room. I would encourage that the teaching assistant or the life skills teacher or the Chinese teacher sit with the child and engage as though they are the parent.
Still participate
Absolutely.
in all the activities
Absolutely.
and the classroom.
So bring them
activities.
into the social environment so that they're not being ostracized again or put out to cry. You'll find that most children will want to go towards the door where they last saw their parent, which is natural.
Yeah.
Right. But try to kind of like move the environment around so that the teacher brings back and acknowledge that they're sad. Like don't disregard it. Even as the foreigner, you can
don't hide it.
Yeah, you can acknowledge that they're sad, and that's okay. You know, encourage the other children to be kind. You know, give them a pat or a hug or something like that. You know, you'll often see this within Chinese children. They will look at each other and they will give each other a pat.
Yeah.
Or the stronger one of the group will go up and blah, 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 which is beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
But just let them get into the flow. Try not to focus too much on them, but give them like the smile. Give them the acknowledgement that they're actually moving forward.
Cool. Wow, good tip, dude. I like it. And very, very useful. It's something that happens every year and in nearly every class. I like that. That's good
and
advice.
Quite often you'll have more than one.
Yeah.
especially if you're looking after a baby class or not a baby class. Baby class here is like a 2-year-olds, or a KS class, which is like 3-year-olds, and anyone that hasn't been away from parents before, really.
Yeah.
So.
And then kids can just have a bad day.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to separate from that person. You know what it's like. You feel the most comfortable in your pajamas or with this person or something.
Yeah, or you quite didn't finish your coffee or it got cold on the way to school or something. But yeah, you know, and as we've talked about before, if someone else brings them in, you know, if mum brings them in or if dad brings them in. So it's vitally important at the start for the first 5-6 weeks that they have the same consistent pattern.
Yeah.
And keep the parents up to date, but keep it positive. Keep giving the parents some insights to what the child did do that was happy.
Yeah.
Give the parent all the information that they can offer to the child. So, you know, teacher Di said you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Teacher Di
An awareness of positive progress.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
Keep it happy, keep it light, but keep it consistent.
Good job. Hope you like that one. It's a very practical and useful one.
Yeah. So like, share, subscribe. Pop your comments in about what you would normally do.
Yeah.
Or if you've got any other suggestions for everybody, that would be really good.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.